You're listening to the Fast Intentions Podcast. Now here are your hosts, Nathan and Todd.
Thank you, Tanner, for that lovely intro. As he said, I'm Nathan. That's my father, Todd. This is episode 17 of the Fast Intentions Podcast. You ready for this?
The Josh Allen episode.
No, or the Shohei Ohtani episode, or the John Havlicek episode.
Or the Riker Fife episode.
Riker Fife. Devontae Adams episode.
Eli Rogers episode.
Philip Rivers. Keith Hernandez. Todd Helton. Doug Williams is on here too.
Keith Hernandez, the infamous spitter.
Terry McLaurin.
Did you ever see that Seinfeld episode where they reenacted the Kennedy assassination, but it was Keith Hernandez spitting on Kramer?
No, I did not.
That's some magic loogie.
Rick Fox. Scott Rowland apparently wrote it. Alshon Jeffrey's on here. They don't have Josh Allen anywhere on this list.
He's too recent.
Lance Berkman. I think I have Ohtani on here.
I don't know.
It's like a poll website where they like rank who they like. But anyways, that's beside the point. This is episode 17 of Fast Intentions. We're sitting here today on a Wednesday afternoon. It's supposed to be a Sunday afternoon, but I wanted to sleep.
And you did.
Because I had a shitty week at work. So I was like, yeah. But then we didn't want to do it late in the afternoon.
Because you were going to watch with your friends?
WrestleMania.
Well, that's not how you say it. You're going to say, WrestleMania! You know? Emphatically. Say it emphatically. Come on.
Nah.
Come on, Nathan. You can do it. Come on.
I'm not going to do it.
That's all. Go
Yeah.
deep. Go deep into your esophagus. WrestleMania! And now they merged with UFC, so you think Michael Buffer will be doing WWE events? It's time!
For the main event?
Yeah.
He's made appearances on WWE before.
Yeah.
He did the Royal Rumble once.
That must have been foreshadowing. He announced it or he competed in it?
No, he announced it.
Oh.
Michael Buffer was not a surprise entry in the Royal.
Oh.
Number 30, here comes Michael Buffer. Let's get ready to rumble. He yelled out when he went down the ramp. Let's get ready to rumble.
What's that? They had that sounder from Jerry the King Lawler when somebody runs out and they, oh my God! I wish I knew it off the top of my head verbatim, but they play it like.
Well, him and JR always had some good commentary. All right, so you want to start with WrestleMania then?
I didn't watch it, but yeah, you can tell me what happened. I seen Dingleberry won again, but you know.
What, Dingleberry and Roman Reigns?
The
Tribal Chief?
Reigns has been too long.
The Tribal Chief? 948 days, I think, something like that. To this effect on Wednesday afternoon. Who knows when this will get uploaded? Probably like 2 weeks from now.
Well, I like how you told me your friend was yelling at the ref that he was illegally had armor on, was wearing protective armor when he was wrestling.
That was when we were there live.
Yeah.
We went there live once, and that was a guy behind us. He yelled. He goes, "That's unfair. He's wearing body armor." Back when he was wearing the stupid shield stuff still. Yeah. But he doesn't do that anymore. He wears just, like, black jeans, and he wears, like, sneakers, and he's shirtless. That's it. He doesn't have body armor anymore.
Well, you want to give us your synopsis of the WrestleMania? Which one was this?
39.
Wow.
40s next year in Philly.
Wow. I can remember the first one, Madison Square Garden.
Mr.
Hulkster and Andre the Giant.
Mr. T, that was WrestleMania 3 you're talking about, I think, when he slammed Andre.
Well, I think the original WrestleMania was Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant.
No, WrestleMania 3 had that match. They had like a tag match with like Mr.
What was
T
the
or something.
event WrestleMania 1 then?
It was Mr. T and something. It was like a tag
Hulk
match.
and Mr. T?
It was a tag match.
Well, it seemed like it was Hulk and Mr. T against Roddy Piper and somebody.
Yeah, that sounds kind of right. No, I don't want...
Hot Rod.
I taped a WrestleMania main event and Shawn Michaels just popped up.
Ronda Rousey has taken up the mantle for.
Yeah.
As he Googles.
Stalled the people for me.
Song, blue.
Oh, you didn't have to sing. No.
Oh. Me and you are subject to.
Yeah,
podcast clicking off all over the city.
No one's listening to it anyways. The main event was it was Hulk.
Sorry.
It was Hulk Hogan and Mr. T versus Roddy Piper, and did you know who the other one was?
Mr. Perfect?
Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful. I got the Mr. right.
Yeah.
Mr.
It's So, and Muhammad Ali was the special guest referee.
Wings. Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that was more of a celebrity thing. But no, it was Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. I think everyone thought Cody Rhodes was going to win, but Roman won again. Because I think they're going to... Well, people are saying the main thing was, in like a few months, you'll reach 1,000 days as champ, and then that'll pass like, I don't remember who it is. I think
Undertaker?
No, it's like Hulk Hogan or someone for like fourfold time. So they think they want him to hold that. I think the plan was to build up Cody Rhodes throughout the whole year, but then he tore his pec, and then he was out for like 9 months, then just came back. So maybe they wanted to build him up.
Wasn't Cody Rhodes? Wasn't he Gold Dust for a while or something like that?
He was Stardust.
Stardust.
And then he hated so much he left because he didn't agree with creative. And then he went to go form his own company, All Elite Wrestling, and then they started booing him there, and then he left and came back because he said his goal was to win the WWE Championship that his dad never won, Dusty Rhodes. So that was kind of the cool story.
Sure.
And so everyone thought he'd finally win, then he lost. And then on Raw on Monday night, Brock Lesnar turned on him. Because he wanted to have a tag match with Roman Reigns because he wanted a rematch. Because Roman Reigns got his little cronies, the bloodline. They screwed Cody Rhodes over after a while. And he goes, this is unfair. He goes, let's just do a tag match. And then Brock Lesnar was going to be his opponent. And then before the match started, he did his F5 on him. Brock Lesnar is a good guy, so it was kind of a surprise. So now they're going to have that feud. And I think they're going to work it up. People think SummerSlam maybe or Survivor Series Cody Rhodes win, but I think they may hold it back all the way to WrestleMania next year.
Wow. Build
it up again. So, who knows? But, I guess I could talk about WrestleMania a little bit more. That match was really good, though. The ending was kind of poo-poo. They had a lot of good matches, though.
Who were some of the matches? Who versus who?
So, the Intercontinental Championship was a good match. That was Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and Gunther. The Intercontinental title. And they're all big guys that like to hit each other.
Fatal 3-way?
Triple threat.
Triple threat.
That's Fatal 4-way.
Oh, sorry.
So, yeah, you were close, though. I'll give it to you. But they're like guys that like to hit the hell out of each other. And they're known for, like, you know, Ric Flair did chops and stuff. Well, everyone always goes, woo, when they do it. Well, they would just smack the shit out of your chest all match, dude. They're all red. Just beat the crap out of each other. It was more like a fight than like a wrestling match. But it was really good. Gunther won. I think the best match was probably the women's match the first night. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair.
Believe it or not.
Ripley, believe it or not, yeah.
Woo!
That was
Charlotte
a good one.
Flair? Thank you.
Yeah, but she lost to Rhea Ripley. But it was a really good match. They said maybe one of the best women's matches of all time.
Wow.
Plus, Rhea Ripley is very over right now. Fans love her. Rey Mysterio fought his son, Dominic Mysterio, because he turned bad, and he's been like a little punk. So his mom and his sister over there on the side. He like splashed water in his sister's face. And then there was a good spot where Rey Mysterio took out his belt and he started spanking him. That was funny. But Rey Mysterio beat him. It was good matches. They had like 4 men tag team match the first night. Then they had like 4 women's tag teams fight each other the next night. The men's one was actually surprisingly good. I enjoyed it. The women's one was kind of eh. Because I think Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are a team. Because they're like friends from whatever when they did mixed martial arts.
Are you a fan of the Masked Singer? You watch that much?
Well, that was a random transition. No.
Well, I was going to say Alexa Bliss was one of the contestants on there. Recently got unmasked. I think she's like the Scorpion or something like that.
No, I don't watch the Masked Singer.
She's actually a pretty good singer.
I only watched the Masked Singer when you guys forced me to on trivia.
Okay.
It was kind of entertaining, but not enough for me to care. But no, they were both injured. They kind of just came in at one, so that was really random. John Cena fought Austin Theory, and Austin Theory beat him, which was good for him because he needs a good boost for his career. And John Cena looked pale as hell because you can tell he hasn't been like spray tanning and doing none of that crap no more. So he's really white, and then his hair is long, and he had like a little bald spot, so people were kind of making fun of him. But John Cena still does the thing well.
There's nothing wrong with a little bald spot.
Exactly. And then they had a Hell in a Cell match. Edge versus Finn Balor. And at one point, Edge threw a ladder at Finn Balor, and so he had like obviously put his hands up to kind of block it. But one of the rungs went through and hit him right in the face.
Oh wow!
And so he started bleeding. So they had a medical person go in there and they gave him like a pain killing drug, and they stapled his head in the ring, and then he just finished the match.
Wow!
So while they were doing that, they had Edge on camera. He didn't know what was going on, so he started going around. He started grabbing more weapons out of the ring, trying to entertain the crowd while they were holding on to him. And people were upset, like, well, it's a Hell in a Cell match. Who cares if he bleeds? But, like, if he's gushing blood, Like, that's not good. So.
Yeah, and then there was another incident where somebody else got injured.
That was right after the Shane McMahon thing. I was so excited to see Shane McMahon back. Just because Shane McMahon. And he hadn't been around for a while. He did a leapfrog, and he tore his quad. So Snoop Dogg was there as, like, him and The Miz were the host of WrestleMania. And so they were just doing this to beat The Miz up. So Snoop Dogg came in, improvised, and just punched Miz. And then he did, like, the worst people's elbow in the history of people's elbows and beat him. So he kind of saved the whole segment because everyone loved it. So it worked out. So WrestleMania, the first night was a lot better than the second night, but it wasn't too bad.
So how many years has WrestleMania been 2 nights? Or is that just something they just started?
I think the COVID year was the first year they did it. They made it 2 nights because people always complained it was like a 7 or 8 hour show with the pre-show and all that, and it just took fucking forever. So they finally made it 2 nights so they could have like 3 or 4 hours each night to kind of work in. It's much better. And then they probably make double the money because people buying tickets to each of them. So it's probably for the best for them.
Where was this one held, you said?
This was in SoFi Stadium in Inglewood.
Oh, okay.
Next year is going to be in Lincoln Financial Field in Philly. I may have to go.
Oh.
Now I'm into wrestling again, which pissed me off because now I'm going to start watching Raw and SmackDown again. But then that's where we get to the big news, right? WWE got sold to Endeavor. They're the parent company of UFC. So now they're going to merge into a new company that's to be determined. But now Vince McMahon's going to be, he's some chief of something officer of it. So the main guy is Ari Emanuel, who owns the company. He's going to be like second in command. So he's technically going to be like Dana White's boss, which is always interesting. But he said during the interview he's going to be a part of WWE, but he can't see himself being in the weeds anymore, like doing the creative stuff. Well, reports were on Monday Night Raw, the whole show was getting changed while it was happening. And the belief was now that Vince McMahon was sitting in they call it the gorilla position, where you got the headset and you're like directing everything. Well, Vince McMahon was back controlling it, changing the show on the fly. So now Triple H may begin to boot back down. And so Vince may now be in creative control again, which hasn't been the case for 8 months since his little scandal. So now all wrestling fans are crying themselves to sleep because now Vince is back and all his wrestling that makes no sense and his out-of-touch booking decisions, changing people's names and ruining gimmicks. So that's going to be back. So right when I get back into it, Vince McMahon is here to ruin the fucking show again. Because the Raw after WrestleMania is like the big show where like everyone, like there's surprise entrances and they have like a lot of cool people. But none of that really happened. It was just like an average, like, normal night. And people are like, this show sucks. And then all the reports coming out that Vince was there. Everyone goes, oh, that makes sense. So that's not good. But, yeah. So we'll have to see what stuff the UFC takes from WWE and what stuff WWE takes from UFC. I can't imagine it'll ever be, like, together. Because I doubt the UFC really wants the fake stuff interfering with their product.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, WWE's got a lot of, like, they have, like, a whole studio with all their, like, video packages and stuff. The UFC could use a little bit of that.
Maybe WWE will start wrestling in an octagon.
I doubt that. I think they'll keep it the same. But they can use... The UFC is cool because they're actually fighting each other, but you could pay money to go see a main event that lasts like 40 seconds. With WWE, they'll have the build-up. It may be fake, but they can at least put on like a performance that you'll want to watch, edge of your seat. You'll get your money's worth out of it, which I think people kind of hard to understand. Well, it's fake. Why would you want to watch it? Oh, that looks obviously fake. But then what do you want them to do, like pretend like it's not real? I hate when people say that. Your sister and her family is a prime example of that. Yeah. Well, they're obviously fake. Why did they pretend like they're pretending obviously it's fake? Well, what do you want them to do? Go, oh yeah, this is fake wrestling. Let me pretend to punch this guy.
My clarification of it was that it's basically a male soap opera.
That's all. That is what it is.
The ladies, watch their days of their lives and all that stuff. This is just soap opera for guys.
People just need it's a TV show. That's all it is, and it's entertainment. That's why it's called World Wrestling Entertainment.
That's right.
It's meant to entertain.
Well, that's because WWF was already taken.
Well, yeah, the World Wildlife Fund decided to get their money's worth, but they emphasized it. But that's why they always use, this sports entertainment. You can't call yourself a wrestler. You're a superstar. Vince McMahon has done broken words. So that's all the rant I got.
Okay.
So I like WWE. All Elite Wrestling is still there, but that's the thing. Vince McMahon has too much control over his, and then Tony Khan, he's the guy. He's the son of the guy that owns the Jaguars, Shad Khan. You know, the guy with the curly mustache.
Shaka Khan?
Yeah. Well, he has no control of his talent. He lets them do whatever the hell they want. Just people fighting backstage, yelling at each other. And then that's a big shit show over there sometimes.
That's probably how I got him to come over there.
Yeah. But that could be a whole other segment. But they have their ups and their downs. So, yeah, but that's wrestling. Wrestlemania is always fun.
Well, thank you, Nathan. I know you're a WWE correspondent here at Fast Attention, so we appreciate that report.
Yeah, thanks. Welcome. I'll see how long I get into staying and watching wrestling.
Good.
Probably not that long.
Well, were you excited last week?
Opening day?
Opening day.
Hell
First
yeah.
sign of spring. Did you beat the drum, hold the phone? The sun came out today?
No, the sun wasn't out when we were watching it. I think Red Sox. I watched the Red Sox game. It was like 36 degrees.
Yeah, it's
Everyone's all bundled up.
So you get excited for opening day? Do you you turn on the TV. The grass is freshly mowed. The dirt's finally manicured. They've painted everything all spruced up. You got new players on the team. A lot of times there's new uniforms. It's a sellout. They put the bunting out, which I really like. I like the look of the bunting, and everybody's all excited. And it's just your team's undefeated, and you're ready for all the possibilities of the season.
Well, it didn't last long for us to be undefeated. We lost the first game, but
I'm talking about the opening day, just the feel and the anticipation of opening day. Does that still get you excited a little bit?
Well, baseball always gets me excited when it's on. I love baseball.
Yeah.
It's my favorite sport. So I was always excited. I wasn't like, oh my God. But I ordered a pizza. So I'm going to order pizza and watch baseball. So that was a good start.
Nice.
I was supposed to the Red Sox played at 1. And I was supposed to go in at 2. I asked them if I could come in at 4:30 so I could watch it. And they said that was fine. So
Nice.
I saw most of it. Almost made the comeback the first game after being down like 8-2.
Yeah, I mean, you always anticipate opening day, and you're like, okay, and you're always positive because you think, okay, my team's made some moves. This could be the chance to get off to a good start. Well, your team lost. My team didn't score till the third game and got swept to open the season. And so that kind of took a little juice out of the anticipation. And they had a sellout opening day, which was like between 36 and 38,000. I'm not sure. The next game they played, they had 15-8.
Well, that's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of baseball, that they make a crap ton of money because they play so many games. And because they play so many games, it doesn't have to be a sellout of it.
Well, it doesn't help that it's not, plus they're trying to...
They're a full rebuild.
With that, and they want to open a new stadium. But I got a question for you this week.
Uh-oh.
Traditionally, one team would always open the baseball season at home. Do you know who that team was?
Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah. And...
Big Red Machine.
Yes. Do you know why that was?
Otherwise known as Kane.
Do you know why that was?
Not particularly. I know they were fucking good as hell, and they had a big fan base.
Well, in an article from the Cincinnati Times-Star in 1910, it was, quote, Cincinnati is always the opening city because it is a southern town, and the weather has a lot to do with it. Apparently, it's the southernmost city in the western batch of the National League teams, so there was a better chance of having warmer weather. And
Cincinnati?
Yeah. And apparently, for decades, the first pitch of every Major League season officially took place in Cincinnati. And the Reds remain the only Major League team to this day that always opens the season with a home game. Exception was in 1966 when, because of a lot of rain, they moved the game to Philadelphia.
You said when they said that, 1910?
That was an article from 1910.
Okay, I was going to say, 'cause they're definitely not the most. I was like seventh-most team. They're all the way in Ohio. Like, that's way north. But obviously in 1910, there wasn't the Diamondbacks or the LA Dodgers yet.
A lot less. And,
yes.
And I don't remember when the tradition ended. And but I do think it had something to do with ESPN or somebody like that coming online and broadcasting baseball, and they would do like a opening night, Sunday night game, and I can't remember if they would bring the World Series champ. They wanted kind of like the World Series champ to play the first game, kind of like they do in the Football League or not. But
they used to have like that. I don't know when they did stop that, because they did have like an ESPN game the night before.
But I think I heard somewhere this was the first year since 1968 that all 30 teams opened on opening day.
Which makes sense.
Which was cool, but the downside was in the second day nobody played. So.
Well, a couple people played.
Well, a couple of people, but it just just a really reduced schedule,
No, I know. Well, that's
I never really understood it. The teams have all been off for 3 or 4 months. Hey, we play one game and I'll give them a day off, and then they come back. You're excited. You want to see your team play, and if they play well, you want them to see them come back again the next day. You don't want to wait.
Well, that doesn't make sense. I don't know why they don't. I agree with you. I don't know why they don't start it on just Friday.
Yeah.
Instead of Thursday, because there's five games the next day, and they're all 4-game series. So I guess to start off with a 4-game series, I'm not sure, but it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, opening day was fun. I'm excited for baseball this year. I really wanted to get back into it because I don't know if you remember me as a child. I feel like I used to know those rosters like the back of my hand. I knew who everyone was and what everyone was doing. But I at least have not been as involved lately, knowing players. And so I wanted to do that this year, but then YouTube TV got rid of MLB Network. So I can't watch MLB Network and keep up on my stuff. And I'm working, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I can distinctly remember you as a child. I think you did this beforehand, but your grandfather would buy you a scorebook. And you would go outside with your bat and your glove and your scorebook. You'd be out in the street.
Yep.
And we'd see you out there, and you'd have your glove, and we could see you talking and acting out all these moves like you're making outs and stuff.
Hell yeah.
And then after a little while, you'd put your glove down, and you'd have your bat, and we'd see you out there bat, and then you'd be marking your scorebook. And you would just sit out there for hours, like reenacting, like you were playing a game.
Yeah.
And
who else playing
and
as?
you would keep a score and all that, and it was quite fun to watch. And then I remember going to watch you play in Little League, and you were very very self-aware of the game, what was going on, and you knew the game mentally really well, and you still do. But that's the advantage you had on a lot of kids. You weren't as athletic, or fast, but you knew the game probably better than most of those kids.
You gotta have a good baseball IQ.
Yeah,
baseball IQ takes you a long way.
Yeah,
especially because I have no athletic ability whatsoever. Or at least since I've
baseball IQ took you to managing Donna Millie's. Good job.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it worked out. Yeah, since I let go of myself very early in my life. But no, yeah, I think I reenact. Whenever we went opening day, Kansas City, I reenacted that game at least 8 times.
Yeah,
because my goal was to reenact 162 games, but after the second day, I go, I'm tired of doing this.
Yeah, you were a Red Sox fan, and I'd always wanted to go to opening day, and so I took you when you were probably 7, 8. You were pretty young.
2007.
And I got pictures of it, and we saw Alex Gordon's major league debut, and at Kauffman, and
before all the beautiful fountains in the outfield seats.
Yeah, before they kind of, I don't know, they've kind of overtaken the fountains. The fountains are still out there, but I'm not a big fan of what they've done. But anyway, that's another subject for another day. I do hope they put the fountains in the new park. But yeah, it was nice, and the Royals won, and there was a group of teenage kids or boys that flew in for the game, especially. So they were kind of getting harassed by some of the Royals fans. So I bought them all some beer, and afterwards they came over and were nice and took some photos with you.
Damn straight.
So, yeah.
Red Sox fans, and we lost 7-1 that day, but we won the World Series that year.
Yeah.
Fucking. Tony Pena Jr. had 2 triples.
So
Tony Pena Jr.
So
who the hell's that guy?
He ended up managing the Royals for a bit, but yeah. So we each got something out of that season.
And John Buck had a 3-run homer, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The only Red Sox score, I think Ortiz had a double.
I can remember Alex Gordon's first at bat. He came up, and the bases were loaded, and the stadium was going wild. He struck out on 3 pitches.
No, I remember that. Yeah, I remember a lot about that game.
Yeah.
Julio Lugo was the leadoff guy for Boston.
But yeah, there's just something about opening day. There's a little bit of excitement in the air, and you feel like spring has sprung, and it's good weather's on the way, and good play is on the way, hopefully. So fingers crossed that our teams get it turned around and start playing better.
Yeah. So speaking of opening day and baseball starting, you know what this means? We have to make our predictions for the season.
Oh, no. Are you writing them down this year?
I already have mine written down. You were supposed to come prepared with yours, but you didn't. So
I'm just gonna,
out of the kindness of my heart, what I'm going to do is I will start by division, and I'll list off the teams for you, and then you can tell me what you think. Okay.
Is that we're going to do go by division by division?
So what I did is each of my division winners. Right. I had my 3 wild cards, and then I didn't go series by series. I just did my World Series prediction and who's going to win it.
Okay.
So, American League East. Let's start off there. Everyone's favorite division, the American League East. That includes the Tampa Bay Rays, the New York Yankees, the Baltimore Orioles, the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Boston Red Sox. I can tell you one thing for sure: Boston Red Sox ain't winning the division this year, unless they surprise me. But they just got swept by the Pirates, so that's not a good start.
You're not surprised by that,
All right, so I'm not surprised by that. My prediction for the American League East. Much as I hate to say, it's the New York Yankees. What?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, you're not going to expound on it?
No.
The Yankees.
No, the Yankees have one of the best lineups in baseball. They still got Aaron Judge. They still got Stanton. And they signed Carlos Rodon. Still got Garrett Cole, and that bullpen's still really good. I like Toronto a lot. Toronto still has a lot of potential, but I think the Yankees are just too powerful. So they're going to be good in the regular season. They'll suck in the postseason because that's what they do. But they're definitely going to win the American League East this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is a tough conference. A lot of good teams here. Like you said, the Yankees, Toronto, Tampa Bay, Baltimore's on the come. Boston might be the team that's kind of regressing a little bit here in this division.
They're in a weird transition phase.
Yeah,
they don't know if they want to rebuild or keep reloading for the future, so they're trying to do both.
Well, eventually every team comes to this point, and they got to figure out what they want to do. So,
well, the beauty of Boston is they have so much money, you can do whatever they want. But the new guy there doesn't like to spend any of the money.
Yeah. I don't think the Yankees will be as dominant as they were last year, but
I don't think so.
It's hard to pick against them. So yeah, I'll take the Yankees to win that division.
Take the Yankees. I think that's an okay choice.
Yankees win.
All right, I'll let you have first say on this one because this is your division.
Oh,
the AL Central.
Ooh.
This includes the Cleveland Guardians, last year's winner.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Twins.
Yeah.
Got Carlos Correa back after he signed with 2 other teams first. The Chicago White Sox without old man Tony La Russa anymore. And
Pedro Grifol, bench coach of the Royals, formerly.
Detroit Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
Still shitty. And the Royals, your team.
Mm-hmm. I will take the Guardians on this one.
Any reason as to why?
Strong lineup, good pitching, solid, good coaching. I will say
Terry Francona.
Yep, I would say watch out for the White Sox. They had a lot of injuries last year. A lot of those guys should be back and healthy, and so they could make a statement. And the Twins, I think the Royals and the Tigers will be fighting for the cellar in that division.
I agree. It's going to be the Royals and I think the Royals and the Tigers are going to be at the bottom.
Yeah.
Tigers got a lot of people hopeful last year with Javi Baez coming. Like, they could be a sleeper team, and they sucked.
He strikes out way too much.
No, yeah, he does.
And Miguel Cabrera's final go-round in the American League before he retires. So.
All right, so I went back and forth on this one.
Oh, you did, you?
Yeah, because the Guardians won last year, and I think they're the favorite. But part of me really wanted to pick the White Sox because they were very disappointing last year, as you know. We both picked them to go to the World Series. You had them winning the World Series,
I did.
And that turned into a big piece of shit prediction for both of us. So, and then I also like the Twins a lot. I like the Twins as like a sleeper team, maybe in like a third wild card perhaps. But I don't know if I like them in the division. So I went back and forth, but I went with the Guardians again. I didn't really want to pick the same division winners as last year, but that's just kind of what it kind of turned out to be. No, Guardians are super young. They have really good pitching too with Shane Bieber, and then they have Emmanuel Clase still in the bullpen. I just like their pitching better than Chicago. And then Chicago has kind of a few question marks. They didn't really do much to improve their team from last year. They lost Jose Abreu to the Astros, which sucks for everyone in the American League.
He was kind of, his production had kind of fallen off. So,
but still, he's kind of the main guy in that middle part of the order. They signed Andrew Benintendi, what I like, but like, does that really put him over the edge? No. So I went with the Guardians. I also think they'll be probably the worst of the 3 winners. Like they'll be the third, but okay. American League West. The Texas Rangers, who are currently 4-2. I also want to say I made these predictions before opening day, and so I did not factor any of the beginning stuff into my predictions. The Los Angeles Angels, with the two-headed monster of Ohtani and Trout, and perhaps the only monsters in the team. The Astros, the rebuilding Oakland Athletics, and the Seattle Mariners, who ended their postseason drought last year.
Well, I know I'm not taking Oakland.
Hey, Oakland's 2-3.
Oh. Oh, man. I want to pick Houston, but I don't know. Seattle's kind of intriguing, but I know this isn't too pretty chalk, but I got to go with the Astros. I mean, they've added a few pieces, and they've been the dominant team in the division for several years, and I don't, just LA never seems to be able to get over the hump. They just don't have enough pitching outside Ohtani. And then Texas usually melts down about midway through the season. And I like Seattle. I don't know if Seattle's got enough to beat Houston, but
yeah, this is actually going to be a very.
They could appear in my my wild cards.
Yeah, there you go. Well, this is a very sneaky division for maybe one of the best of the year. People don't really talk about the American League West like that. Rangers are intriguing because they got DeGrom, they got Evaldi. They're trying to go with like I said, the White Sox approach, where they kind of just get some names and kind of fast forward that rebuilding process. But because then they signed Seager and Simeon last year. But the Angels I don't like because of their pitching. I said that last year. They have Ohtani and Trout, but they just don't have anything else around them. And they're always hurt, so that doesn't help. Oakland's rebuilding, and I really like Seattle, but I got to go with Houston too, unfortunately. I think they're just the best overall team in the American League. The offense is potent. Yes, they lost Verlander, but I think the younger guys of Garcia and Javier will fill in the role just fine. The starting pitching will be just fine. So
we're kind of in lockstep agreement, as they say.
Well, the only thing that concerns me about that pick now is the Ohtani. What the hell? Altuve is going to be out for maybe a month or two because of that thumb. But will a month or two really make a big difference in the long run? Probably not. It's long.
No.
As they say, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Oh,
even though with the time clock now, it may be kind of a sprint. Mm-hmm. Jokingly. Okay, so how boring. We had the exact same winners in the American League. We may have that same opinion in the National League, but we'll see. National League East. We'll start. We got the Atlanta Braves, the Miami Marlins, the New York Mets, the Philadelphia Phillies, and Washington Nationals. And I will say, I don't think we have to consider the Nationals. No offense to the Nationals, but they're the bottom of the bottom.
How rude.
Then, I would say Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh's 4-2 to start the year. So, kind of my thoughts on that. Them,
Pittsburgh's not a division?
No, I'm saying, I was talking about my bottom teams of Major League Baseball. Oakland, Washington. I would say Pittsburgh, but they're 4-2, so maybe they'll prove me wrong.
I doubt it.
No, yeah. G-Man Choi is like their 3-hole hitter. McCutcheon was their 3-hole hitter today. He had 3 hits.
Nice.
But, National League East, I'll go first because you went first the last 2 times.
Okay.
This was a tough one.
Ooh.
Because the Mets, they were the big spenders of the offseason, doing a lot of things.
Hey, big spender.
And the Phillies they made this run to the World Series. I think this year they're going to prove that wasn't a fluke.
Oh.
And I think they're going to be very competitive.
Foreshadowing.
But I go with the Braves. I think the Braves are just too good. That lineup's too good. Their pitching's too good. I'm going to keep it just as simple. I think they're just the best overall team. Even though they did just lose Max Fried. He just got hurt on opening day, so that's not good to lose your ace right away. But otherwise, I do like the starting pitching is a little sometimes. But
well, the Mets lost their closer, so
they lost Edwin Diaz celebrating in the World Baseball Classic too, and then the Phillies lost Reese Hoskins for the year. He tore his ACL, I believe. So also kind of concerning. And I think Bryce Harper may be hurt to start the year as well, if I remember correctly. Yes, he's also on the 10-day DL. So. A lot of injuries going on in the National League East.
Well, I thought you were going to go with the Mets, and I thought, well, we're going to have a first time we're going to be different, because I was going to take the Braves.
Nope, I went with the Braves.
And you took the Braves, so. I was big on the Met train last year, but I don't know, something about when teams spend a ton of money on free agency, it just never seems to work out.
But the Braves won the division last year, right? Yes, because when we went in October, they were trying to catch them, and
if they would have won that game, and then the next night, they would have tied for the division. But
yeah, they didn't. So yeah, I went with Atlanta again. I think they're just too good. Ronald Acuna, maybe a 40-40 season. We'll have to see. Especially, have you seen stolen bases the first few weeks? Mm-mm. People against Boston's like 13 for 13 in stolen bases. It's ridiculous. Everyone's stealing bases now because of those new rules. But then let's go to the National League Central.
All right.
I think we both had the Brewers last year, and they were kind of disappointing. And they may be a little disappointing again because they didn't do a whole lot. But in that division, we have the Brewers. We have those 4-2 Pittsburgh Pirates, Cincinnati Reds, who are 3-2, the Chicago Cubs, and the St. Louis Cardinals. As it stands, Cardinals are 2-4 in the cellar. But I still think the Cardinals are going to win this division. Offensive-wise, I think they're just too powerful. Milwaukee's got some decent pitching, but I just don't like their offense. Not as much as St. Louis with Arenado and Goldschmidt. They just got Wilson Contreras added to. Tommy Edman's still good. Paul DeYoung, when he's healthy, is good. So I think the offense is too good.
Well, I think realistically, there's only two teams in this division that will possibly contend for the division crown, and that is the Cardinals and the Brewers. The Cubs are starting over. Pittsburgh's starting over. Cincinnati's starting over. It's tough, because we're making our predictions right now based on the teams as they are, and as the season goes along, you never know who's going to make a move, or a big injury will happen or what have you. So
that's why they're just predictions.
That's right. Just to be a little contrarian, since you took the Cardinals, I'll take the Brewers again. I think maybe they can put it together this season and
starting off 5-1,
keep it rolling. So,
all right, the last division, the National League West, also a very intriguing division. The LA Dodgers, the Arizona Diamondbacks, the San Diego Padres, the San Francisco Giants, and the Colorado Rockies. I'll let you go first this time. Who do you think is winning the National League West?
Well, this is a two-horse race, in my opinion, the Dodgers and the Padres.
I would agree with that.
But I always need to apply the same logic to the Padres as I did the Mets. Big spending. Of course, not that the Dodgers were fiscally responsible either. I was rooting for the Padres last year, and once they got past the Dodgers, I really thought they had a shot, and they just kind of spit the bit against the Phillies. But I got to go with the Dodgers. I just don't know. Maybe last year helped the Padres get to a mental state where they can, they know they can beat the Dodgers in a series. But I like the Dodgers to bounce back, and I also like not that the Padres won't, but I like the Dodgers to make moves as they feel necessary. That's one thing about teams like the Yankees and Dodgers. If there's a move to be had to improve their team, they're going to try to do it. So I'll go with the Dodgers.
All right. Well, you don't got to worry. We also disagree on this one.
Ooh.
I'm going with the big spenders, San Diego Padres.
No.
Because I last year, the Dodgers have been the gigantic spenders the last few years with the all-star starting lineup. And for some reason, I kept picking them to win the World Series. But they disappointed me every postseason because Dave Roberts and his team loved to play small during big clutch situations in series and lose. So, but in this instance, I think the Padres are just too loaded. Let me read you some names, my friend. Juan Soto, Nelson Cruz, Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, Jake Cronenworth, Blake Snell, Nick Martinez, Josh Hader, Yu Darvish. They're just too powerful. And I think, because the thing is always that they're always the little brothers to the Dodgers, right? Mm-hmm. But they finally beat them in the postseason. Well, this year, now you play every team once. So I think them not having to play the Dodgers every year in that division will help them play other teams. So if that whole situation turns into a big thing, it won't matter as much in the long run. I do think it's also a two-headed race. I don't think no one else is going to be very competitive in that division.
Yeah.
The Giants may be a fun team to watch, but I don't see them competing against those two. I'm going with the Padres. All right, so this leaves you need your 3 wild cards.
Yeah.
So, let's start in the American League. You got your teams listed down. I didn't do them in order. I just listed my 3. I wasn't trying to rank all of them. So.
Well, I will go with the Rays from Tampa Bay as my first wild card.
The only undefeated team left in baseball.
That's right.
All right. So, like I said, I don't know if you saw MLB.com's predictions, but they picked the exact same teams that made the playoffs last year.
I do have the.
They picked all 12 to say.
I do have the odds for the World Series.
Okay. Well,
teams that get to the World Series.
All right. Well, we'll go over that afterwards.
All right.
But no, what MLB.com did, they picked the exact same 12 teams that made the playoffs last year and put them in the playoffs this year. And I was very close to doing that, but I made one small tweak because I did not really want to pick the same teams again. My first wild card is the Toronto Blue Jays. I also think the offense is really loaded. Starting pitching, maybe, But they got Alex Manoah leading that team. Alex Verdugo said Alex Manoah was mean and his celebrations are too messed up, and Alex Manoah said, I don't care. Did you see that?
No.
Alex Verdugo says he taunts too much and like he's a little extra, and Alex Manoah said, I don't care, which I actually kind of thought was funny. But so he's there, and I just like the offense too well, Toronto. I think they're going to be – I have them listed as my first wild card.
Okay.
Even though I don't think the order matters too much, in my opinion. Oh, and they got George Springer, too. I didn't even mention George Springer. I like George Springer.
No.
Second wild card, I didn't pick him last year. I said I was going to. I thought about it 20 times, and I didn't pick him. Now I'm not thinking about it. Did we ever upload the prediction episode? Or was that a practice episode? I don't know if they ever heard me contemplate, but I contemplated the Mariners 50,000 times.
We didn't pick. I don't think we picked on the air, but we referenced it.
Okay, yeah, because we had a few practice episodes where I think we made our predictions. It wasn't actually available to listen to the public, but I spent 20 minutes talking about the Mariners and how I thought they were finally going to make the playoffs, and then I picked the Red Sox because I was a homer. But I'm not doing that this year. I'm picking the Mariners. They're going to be the second wild card.
I had the Mariners also.
Ooh, okay. So here comes the third one. Now, this is where I had some debates. I thought about the White Sox a lot because I was thinking about them in the division. Think about Tampa Bay because, Tampa Bay never looks good on paper, but they always fucking make it because that's just how they are. The Twins I kind of thought about. The Rangers I thought about because they're going to be competing for that third spot. They're not going to be winning the division, but I think they'll be competitive. But I went with my gut, and I went with something bold. I went with the Baltimore Orioles as the third seed.
Oh.
Very young. I think this is the year they put it together. Anthony Santander. And they got, what's-his-face, the top prospect, Gunnar Anderson, going to be there for a full year. I really like them. They're really young. The only thing that kind of concerns me is their pitching. Hopefully John Means will come back healthy. He's their ace. But I think this is the year Baltimore finally cracks through and makes the third wild card.
Oh.
So my biggest thing was leaving Tampa Bay out because I really like Tampa Bay. Because Tampa Bay is always good. But I don't have them making the postseason this year.
Well, I like Baltimore, but I still think they're a year or two away. I mean, they got a good foundation. They got really strong pieces. You forget Ali Rutschman, their catcher.
Oh, yes. That's what I was forgetting.
Really good, solid club, and I know Orioles fans are happy to finally see the team building from within and building it the right way. But I don't think they are there yet.
Cedric Mullins.
So I had the same internal battle, with you as between the Blue Jays and the White Sox, and I'm going to go with the White Sox, but that's just because I think the AL East is so strong that they're going to kind of eat each other alive, and so I think playing the other teams that the White Sox get to play a little more often is going to give them a little bit of advantage record-wise, and so I'm going to go with the White Sox.
So when we started this podcast, what I realized my worst ability is? I know a lot of teams and players on it, but when I think about the team in the moment, I just can't fucking think of anyone's name off the top of my head. Because Austin Hayes, Cedric Mullins, Anthony Santander. The only person I could come up with in my head was Santander. I threw Gunnar Henderson out there. They have Adam Frazier, too. He said, I love Ryan Mountcastle. He's their first baseman. He can hit the shit out of the baseball.
They got some fun names.
Yes, they do. So I'm going with Baltimore as the third. So we'll see how that turns out. That may be something I regret. But now the National League. This is where it gets a little boring because I think there's a few front runners.
Sure.
I think in both leagues there's teams I like, but I don't think they're necessarily as good as the other teams. So my first wild card, I have those nasty New York Mets big spenders. Yes, they have Edward Diaz out for the year, but I think they have enough firepower in their bullpen and in their starting pitching to be okay. Even though Justin Verlander's not going to be out for what they said, like a few months. So
He's out. I think he's out for a month right now.
So we'll see how that goes. But no, they lost to Grom, but I think Scherzer and Verlander will fill in fine, and I think they'll definitely be in October. I really kind of wanted to pick the division too, but I didn't want to do that.
Well, I will take those old robed, mission-dwelling San Diego Padres.
There you go.
I like what you said. Like I said, it's just a slight lean towards the Dodgers, and so I cannot not put Padres in as a wild card.
Exactly. So I will go with my second one.
All right. Makes sense.
I really had them picked, but then, like I said, those injuries kind of bothered me with Reese Hoskins and Bryce Harper, but I'm going with the Phillies again.
Oh.
I think the Phillies will make it back, and I think the NL East will have 3 teams in the playoffs.
Foreshadowing.
So the Mets and the Phillies as my 2 wild cards.
I'm gonna second your Mets prediction, and they're gonna be my second wild card team. I do like what they have. You said they've lost Diaz. They put a lot of money into the team, so they're committed. They're all in. So, like we talked about earlier with other teams, if there's a move to be made or they need to make a move, this owner seems like he's prepared to go all in to get it done. So, I like the Mets. It's a wild card.
All right, and then I think these 3 were easy for me. I think the Phillies is kind of one maybe people weren't so sure on. But I got the Dodgers as the third one.
Yeah.
So I think the Dodgers, yes, they lost like Trey Turner and stuff, but they'll be fine. They still got JD Martinez fill that hole. Looking for a big bounce back here. But I do want to give special mention to the other teams I thought about, but didn't think they'd make it. Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee's always a little underrated. Mm-hmm. I think they'll be competitive, but I don't see them making the playoffs. And then my surprise team, I think the Chicago Cubs could be very competitive this year. Although they're rebuilding, I like a lot of the guys they have on their team. Looking to kind of make a comeback, Cody Bellinger, Eric Hosmer, those kind of guys. Then they got Stroman, Drew Smyly. They actually have a pretty decent pitching staff. So I think they'll probably be above 500 competing for that third spot. But I don't think they match up at all with the other 3 wildcard teams.
Well, I'm going to be pretty boring here, but I'm going to take the gateway to the Midwest dwelling St. Louis Cardinals.
All right.
I like them. I contemplated getting them the division title. So same, with between like the Dodgers and the Padres. I like them. I just like the Brewers a little bit more. So we're pretty even. There's not much disagreement on the teams. One each.
So yeah, we both had the Mariners, but you had Tampa Bay and Chicago. Mm-hmm. I had Baltimore and Toronto. Mm-hmm. And then our divisions for the Central and the West were mixed up. You had the Dodgers, I had the Padres. You had the Brewers, I had the Cardinals. I didn't even have the Brewers making the playoffs, which is always interesting. Mm-hmm. So we both had the Mets, though. I picked the Phillies and the Dodgers. You had the Dodgers. You had the Padres as a wild card, the Mets, and who the hell? St. Louis. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, the odds are the Astros are the favorite, plus 600. Then comes the Braves at 750. Yankees are plus 800. The Dodgers plus 800. The Mets plus 900. The Padres plus 900. Then it jumps to the Blue Jays plus 1,200, who I don't have in the playoffs. Phillies plus 1,600. The Mariners plus 1,800, and the Cardinals plus 2,000, and the Rays plus 2,000, and the Guardians plus 2,500. I'm just looking for the teams we predicted, and the Sox plus 3,500, and the Brewers are at plus 3,500. Your Red Sox are at plus 600 or 6,000.
I was gonna say 600. Woo!
Your Orioles are at plus 6,600.
They're gonna surprise some people.
And my beloved Royals at plus 2,000. Or 20,000, however you want to say that.
Hey, I bet $10 million you'll be winning a lot of money.
The worst odds are the Athletics and the Nationals at plus 50.
Gonna have guessed that.
So, yeah.
Oh, and then we got to make the World Series predictions.
Okay.
I have mine. Pretty boring, but I have it. I'll let you go first. Or
So
do you want me to?
We're just picking who we think is going to come out of each division and play for the World Series. Is that what we're doing?
I also picked my winner.
Okay.
But yes, we don't have to go round by round.
Okay.
And seed them and everything. We can do that when the actual postseason starts.
All right.
So out of the American League, I'll go first because you haven't thought about it at all. Out of the American League, I have the Houston Astros. How boring. Mm-hmm. But the last time we had actually, hold on, I'm not going to say that because that's kind of spoiling. But
okay.
I have the Astros winning the World Series. But the last time we had back-to-back baseball champions.
Winners or the same teams playing?
No, winners. Won the World Series back-to-back years.
It's the Giants?
It's the three-peat Yankees.
Oh.
Back in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants lost and won and lost and won. They had a year off every. They won 3 World Series with 2 years in between. So I have the Astros winning. But it's boring, but someone's got to win back-to-back eventually. I think Houston's the team to do it. Even though Dusty Baker said we're playing like shit right now. 3 and 4. And then I guess I'll just give my National League one, too, because you're still staring at me, too. I got the Braves.
Oh. The Astros and the Braves, huh?
Because on paper, I would pick the Padres, but them on paper just tells me they're not going to win it. So I'm going with Atlanta. That's what the Dodger effect now. I'm not trying to do that stupid Dodgers effect.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Rays up, baby. I'm going to take Tampa Bay Rays that come out of the American League.
So you got the team I didn't pick to make the playoffs.
Yeah. Well,
one of us is going to look very stupid.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be me because I kind of went homer with Baltimore. But I really didn't want to pick the same 12 teams again. How boring.
Well, if the camera was working, we'd both probably look stupid right now.
Oh, look at these. Well, yeah, we both look dumb. But...
And my National League team is going to be the LA Dodgers.
Ooh. Boring.
I know, right?
Who you got winning it? It's a rematch of the COVID year.
Yeah.
And I'm a rematch of the year after the COVID year.
I'll go with the Rays. I think maybe they'll just catch lightning in a bottle and just be on. Sometimes you get that team like the 2015 Royals where they just, everything just lines up and just, make a run. And what I like about the Rays is a lot of these guys are from their system, and so they've grown up together, and it's just a real cohesive unit, and they're just there for each other. So
I'm not upset with your pick.
Well,
I don't know if I'd pick them to win the World Series, but I think the Tampa Bay Rays are always going to be very competitive, and they'll be just A-okay.
I mean, it's easy to pick one of the favorites, but how often do the favorites actually win? It's a crapshoot. So
that's why I went with consistency. The Astros make the damn ALCS every fucking year, so I got to be
that's
somewhat close.
That's got to end sometime.
And not going to be this year, hopefully.
All right.
Even though I hate that, I don't hate the Astros, but it was kind of fun to root against because of the whole cheating thing.
Well, before we get off baseball, I don't know if we'd consider this a nugget per se, but a little funny anecdote that I saw was, the teams have the home opener, and like we talked about earlier, they make a big pomp and circumstance out of it. Well, a lot of times they'll have the big flyover with the jets or the Boeing, or not the Boeing, but the big aircraft carriers or whatever. Just impressive. Well, apparently the Brewers had a flyover at their home opener. But the problem was the stadium roof was closed at the time.
Oh, so they flew over.
So they had a flyover, but nobody could fucking see it. So I guess that could be an eyebrow raiser for me. You're like, okay, we're going to have a flyover, but have the fucking roof open if you're going to do it.
No, yeah, that's kind of funny. Or at least close it then. Oh, and I also did make a note for this, too. I think this is just for Red Sox games, actually, but I'll talk about it anyways. So throughout the first 4 games of baseball, the average length of the games was 3 hours, 9 minutes. It was 2 hours and 38 minutes this year because of the pitch clock. So, if you hate the pitch clock, at least it's doing what it's supposed to do. Because I think it is true. There's a lot of, a lot of in-between shit we don't really need.
Well, somebody at work asked me about this the other day, actually, and I said, well, I didn't have a problem with the game the way it was. Oh, it just takes forever. I said, well, I've been watching baseball. It's been that way since I started watching baseball, so I had no problem with it. To me, it's just part of the game. But I think we talked about this when the rule changes came out, that that I understand that they're trying to, draw in more viewers, and, kids just don't have the attention span that they used to, so they need more action more often to keep the product moving. And I get it, but me personally, I didn't have a problem with it the way it was. So
I didn't really either, but I think if it gets all the extra crap out there, because sometimes I will watch the game, I'm like, oh my god, hurry the fuck up. So I think if it takes at least 30 minutes off, I'm okay with it. The only thing is just the hit of violation thing is still kind of stupid. People getting wrung out because they didn't.
yeah,
Because I hate to bring up the Red Sox again. Devers got struck out on one, but he was ready, and because you have to be looking at the pitcher with 8 seconds left.
mm-hmm.
Well, he was looking at it with 9, and the pitcher was still dinking around. So he looked down too. Well, then they called the violation on him, but he was like, well, the pitcher wasn't ready. So like, why am I supposed to be ready at 8 when he's not ready? So I think there's kind of a little lenient things they got to figure out.
Well, I think the umps are probably undergoing a learning curve too, to how to apply it and when to apply it and that kind of stuff.
So yeah, it'll I think hopefully it'll smooth itself out after a while. Manny Machado also the other day became the first player to get ejected because of it. He got wrung out on it and he bitched and they threw him out. So I think he was also the first person in spring training to get called for a violation. So how about that? Manny Machado is breaking new barriers with the pitch clock. So that's all baseball I got. And all I have to say about NBA stuff is I'm excited for the playoffs for that. We're going to talk about the NBA a whole lot on here, but
Well, I did have a snippet about about basketball. Did you see the Hall of Fame class was announced?
I didn't see the whole class. No, I heard people talking about it.
Oh, well, I'll mention the guys who got inducted, and if you want to tell me a little bit, what comes to mind when you hear their names.
All right, let's go. If I know them too.
Yeah, Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade, greatest Miami Heat player of all time. Probably top 5 shooting guard of all time.
Dirk Nowitzki.
No brainer. Best European basketball player ever.
Well, you and him have that in common.
European basketball
No
player?
brain.
Oh, no brain. Oh, I see what's going on here. No, those both totally make sense.
Okay, Pau Gasol.
Pau Gasol, very good player. Most known probably for the Lakers with Kobe Bryant winning championships.
But when I think of Pau Gasol, I think when he plays for his home country in the Olympics and any of the international stuff, him and his brother.
That too, Mark.
Yeah. He's very successful in that realm.
Oh, yeah, they're both good basketball players, too.
Tony Parker.
Tony Parker, also European. What country is he?
France. He's from France.
Is he from France? Okay.
Yeah. Is he France or French-Canadian? I think he's France.
I'm not sure. That's why I was of leaning towards you.
I think he's French.
But, yeah. I didn't get into basketball till later, so some of these guys were bigger when I was kind of, starting to get into it. They were kind of getting out of it. But, yeah, he's one of the main part of the big three in San Antonio.
Female player Becky Hammon.
Becky Hammon, yeah. Mm-hmm. And she was the assistant with San Antonio forever with Greg Popovich. That's how I mostly know her.
And Greg Popovich.
Oh, and Greg Popovich is getting in? Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's probably known as the greatest NBA coach.
Yeah.
Him, maybe Phil Jackson. Just because Phil Jackson won so damn much.
Well, yeah, but Pop's been with the Spurs
forever.
Like, his longevity with the same team has been great. And, very very outspoken on,
social issues,
human rights issues and what have you, and social issues. And he's very forefront of, stuff, as far as that, so. He's
a big bullshit guy, too. He doesn't like all the extra credit.
Yeah.
He'll tell a player, like, what the fuck are you doing? You're stupid. And it's Greg Popovich, and he's there. He's done everything, and he's been there for so long, he could say whatever the hell he wants, people respect him.
Yeah, he's won the title. He's coached many of the great players.
See, those are kind of the coaches we need nowadays. You ever have to have a coach that's been there for a long time and knows and has the respect of people, or it has to be a coach that can relate to players, because they always kind of have those middle. Let's just get this random old guy to coach our team. Well, no one wants to relate to an old guy. Like when the Pelicans hired Stan Van Gundy 2 years ago. Sure, Stan Van Gundy is a good basketball mind, but what the hell does Zion Williamson have in common with Stan Van Gundy?
Yeah, you got to be able to, like you were saying, you got to be flexible. You got to be able to relate. You got to be kind of a chameleon. For example, you got to be able to change your ways and how you deal with people. And, you got to be able to deliver your message a different way, but yet still get to the same place.
Especially
and he's been able to do that.
And especially in professionals, because these are like adults. They're not like college where you can treat them as like students, and so you're teaching them things and developing them. Well, in the NBA, you kind of assume they're already developed. You can't have them do little stupid drills. out there. They're like, I'm a professional fucking basketball player making $20 million. Why do I have to do this?
Well, he's you mentioned Becky Hammon, bringing her on board. He's a progressive thinker. He always seems like he's a little bit ahead of the curve as far as innovations and what have you when it comes to the NBA.
For a long time too, people thought maybe she'd be the one to take over for Bob. Oh, she's with the Aces of the WNBA. I was trying to figure out what she was now. Because they just won the WNBA title.
All right. Well, that's 2 of the sports down. NFL, you got anything on the NFL?
I didn't have anything down.
They approved a few rule changes, and I only jotted down a couple because some of them are kind of extensive. But
I did see one thing. But I'll let you go first so I don't spoil it.
He has his hand in there. I need to call on him. Yes, Nathan.
Oh, I don't want to say it because I don't want to spoil it, because I always spoil whatever you're going to say. Last time I spoiled Rey Mysterio.
The NFL approved allowing players to wear number 0.
I did see that. In baseball, they're wearing number 0 now, too. Mm-hmm. Marcus Stroman for the Cubs had 0.
So, as a Packer fan, can you foresee a player on the Packers team that would wear 0? Do you have any inclination who it might be, or somebody might go for that?
I don't know. For some reason, I don't know anyone personally, but for some reason, the first.
Well, you are a team owner.
I am a team. I do own them.
Part of them.
Yeah, part of them. An imaginary stock that I can't sell or do anything with, but
it's not imaginary.
No, it's real. It's sitting right over there.
I paid good money for that stock.
I see it sitting right there.
I paid good money for that.
When I get my own apartment, that's definitely going up somewhere.
It should be up now, fucker. Oh, sorry.
It sits there and I look at it. I'll grab it some days and just kind of look at it. But for some reason, the first thing I thought it was Jair Alexander. Seems like a kind of guy that would wear number 0. Like a lockdown corner.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's kind of the first thing I thought of. Jordan Love should be number 0. But I just ordered his jersey, so he can't. He's got to stay number 10.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I get Jordan Love jersey, and then he switches his fucking number. But no one's going to take 12 because that'll be retired.
Yeah, maybe a future. This reminds me, maybe a future subject for us is I had an old Facebook post memory came up, and it was I had to list my favorite player off every NFL team. It could be anybody in history. And I thought that'd be interesting to maybe run by you and see who you would come up with and who you would name. For my favorite of each team? Yeah. I haven't watched long enough. I can give you a quick example. I know who your favorite Packer of all time is. Yes. Brett Favre? Yes. So, I don't know. Who's your favorite Steeler of all time? Franco Harris? Jack Ham. Jack Ham? Oh. Yeah. Is Franco Harris up there? Yeah. I don't know why I thought about that. Yeah, this was from 3 years ago. It was, I think it was during COVID, but for the Rams, I said Jack Youngblood. The Bears, I said Brian Piccolo. I liked his story, from when he was with Gale Sayers and he got sick and unfortunately passed away. Barry Sanders for the Lions. Makes sense. The Packers, I had 2 people. I had Brett Favre and Don Majkowski. Majkowski? The Magic Man. Yeah. I can keep. You want me to go through this whole list since I started on it? Sure, you may as well. Okay. And if you know him, you can say, or if you don't. Well, you can talk about it too. It's your list. Okay. The Saints, I had Drew Brees. You can't really. I don't think you can really pick anyone else, can you? Yeah. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I said James Wilder. I don't know who that is. He was an old running back out of Missouri that played there for several years. And I really don't know why I said him, but. Just picked them. Well, that was 3 years ago. Carolina Panthers, I said Tim Biakabutuka. I have no idea who that is. Running back out of Michigan. Falcons, I had Jesse Tuggle, old linebacker. And I think that had to do with fantasy because I tried to draft him every year in fantasy, and I could never get him. And then finally I got him one year, and he sucked. So. See, football, I don't have as much of a history on. Yeah. For some reason, the NBA, I know a lot about history, but the NFL, I don't. New York Giants, you should know this one because I named Bavaro. I named one of my dogs after him. Yep. Cowboys, I put Golden Richards. He was a receiver with long blonde hair. Redskins, I said John Riggins. John Riggins. Big running back. Big, strong running back. Name sounds kind of familiar, actually, but I have no idea who he is or what position he played. He's running back. Well, there you go. Eagles, I said Harold Carmichael. Big, tall receiver. I think he wore number 17, matter of fact. Oh, this is the Harold Carmichael episode. San Francisco, I said Roger Craig, ex-Husker. The Vikings, I said Harrison Smith. Yeah. Harrison Smith, really? Mm-hmm. Why Harrison Smith? No, I just like the way he played. So
It's kind of that's guy's more of a modern one.
yeah. Seattle Seahawks. I said Steve Largent,
I don't know who's Steve
Hall of
Largent.
Fame wide receiver, and I think he was ended up going to Congress and being a representative at one point. I think he was there when Tom Osborne was there. Arizona Cardinals. Of course, I said Pat Tillman.
Yeah.
Respected him and his decisions in his life. The Indianapolis Colts. I had two. I had Burt Jones, who was a quarterback for the Colts back in the 70s, and Jeff George. Wasn't the best, person, but he had a howitzer for an arm. The guy could sling it. The Jaguars, I just like to say this guy's name, Paul Posluszny.
Paul Puzzle. He had a big neck too.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Glennon had like the really skinny neck. He had the gigantic neck.
Kunk. The Texans, I said J.J. Watt.
Yeah, there's no one else to pick.
Titans/Oilers, I said Earl Campbell.
Earl Campbell, I know who that is.
Tyler Rose. Steelers, I said Jack Ham, which I told you. Ravens, I put Michael Orr, or in parentheses, I put maybe because I like the movie. Blindside. Browns, Brian Sipe.
I don't know who Brian Sipe.
Quarterback back in the day. Bengals, I put Tim Crumry. He was a big middle guard.
Name sounds familiar.
Nose guard for the Bengals back in the day.
I don't know why Tim Crumry of all names sounds familiar.
Yeah. New England, I had Russ Francis.
Not Tom Brady?
Nope. Big tight end. Well, I played tight end in high school, so I kind of partial to tight end sometimes. The New York Jets, Mark Gastineau.
No.
Part of the New York Sack Exchange.
No.
He'd make a sack, and he'd run around, and he was flail his arms and dance and stuff. He was real bombastic, real demonstrative. The Dolphins, Dan Marino.
Yeah.
The Bills, I put Steve Tasker, special teams player. And I think he does some announcing now. The Chiefs, I had Bill Kinney, old quarterback from back in the day. I don't know why I put him down. The Broncos, I put Carl Mecklenburg, linebacker from the 70s. Raiders, I had Bo Jackson.
Makes sense.
Bo knows. And for the Chargers, I had Eric Weddle. I think some of these names might have to do with just because having them in fantasy football at the time, they were like relevant in my mind at that
juncture.
At that juncture, thank you. So maybe one of these days we'll go through these teams with you and see what you might come up with.
I'd have a hard time picking someone.
Yeah. So that's NFL. 3 sports down. And we don't talk much hockey here, so...
I have been watching hockey, though, even though
Good.
the Penguins fucking 6-1 yesterday to the Devils.
Well, they won 4-2 the other day over the Flyers. Chris Letang played his 1,000th game with the Penguins, joining Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin.
Did you see when they were all warming up? They all had Letang jerseys on.
Mm-hmm. That was cool.
And they were all trying to just copy what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was giggling.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
So I guess the big news of the week, you want to tackle this? The controversy between LSU's Angel Reese and Iowa's Caitlin Clark.
Well, I don't have a whole lot of information written down about it.
Okay.
But the main thing I saw was, obviously, LSU won the game.
Yes.
I was watching part of it. The refs were terrible.
Yeah.
Which you hate to mention, because, refs have to do their job, but, like, when they're, like, calling texts about stupid shit, it's just like, come on, it's the championship game. But LSU was winning by, like, 14. And Angel Reese was following Caitlin Clark around, doing the you can't see me. And she was doing something. Oh, she was pointing at her finger, the ring thing. Mm-hmm. She was doing like the Aaron Donald he did when he won his title. Which, I mean, in the long run, doesn't really bother me. Because, Caitlin Clark was showing off a lot. She was doing the ear thing when she'd win, hyping up the crowd. They shake hands and stuff. It's just kind of part of it. I think she was kind of a little extra about it because she was like following Caitlin Clark around for like 20 seconds doing it. It's like, okay, she's like ignoring you and you just got to keep going around so she sees you. I thought that was a little annoying.
Well, I think Caitlin probably did see her, but
she was trying to like not give her the...
You're not going to give her the satisfaction of letting her know that you see it.
But it was like you could see the clip of her. She was literally walking like she was walking away and she was like following her doing it. So and I don't have a problem with it because I think taunting and stuff's kind of fun and good fashion, but like I think she just took it a little over the top. But I'm not going to be like, oh, Angel Reese is a terrible person and she should stop doing it. Like I don't care. She's won the national championship. She's probably happy as hell. And Caitlin Clark took it. She said, yeah, she beat us and she deserved to do all that. So as long as Caitlin Clark didn't have a problem with it, why should I? That was kind of my main opinion. I can see why people are like, well, it's annoying, but when everyone else shows boats, it's just kind of whatever. That was my main opinion about it. I don't know what you thought. You probably had a different opinion.
Well, you know me, I'm not a big fan of showing off and trying to get in other players' faces. I think your play should do the talk. But I will say, if Caitlin Clark's a trash talker and she's willing to go out and make those gestures and stuff, she should be
able to take it.
She should know that if the shoe's on the other foot, that it's going to come back towards her. Did Angel Reese take it a little over the top and farther than probably needed? Yes, but in my opinion, to me, it wasn't about Caitlin Clark for Angel Reese. I think it's what Caitlin Clark represents. She's this good, probably Larry Bird type basketball player for women's sports. Just a tremendous shooter. But people want to hype up anytime there's in basketball. Anytime there's a player who's white who does really well. People want to gravitate and latch onto that. And Angel Reese has she hasn't been seen in the best light. People take shots at her and say things about her, and based on some of the comments I read after the game, I was on this app I have, and there's a chat section where you can read what people are saying, and a lot of derogatory comments, which really saddened me. People using the N-word, but not changing out a letter so it doesn't say that expressly. People referring to her as a monkey, just real hurtful stuff. And you may not like her or what she did, but to take that to that extreme was really disturbing for me. I saw several posts online about just people piling on her, and this one guy posted over and over on Twitter and on lots of different media sites. And I laugh because when you look at his little avatar picture, it's him in an Iowa sweatshirt. Well, so then what he'll say is, well, they're a good player and she's a good player and they deserve to win. But, so what people like to do is they like to kind of use that as a buffer. Like, well, I think this person's a piece of crap, but, I'm going to soften the blow by saying something nice at first. Well, that's just, you're just throwing it out there as gravy. You don't really mean it. So it's kind of turned into a culture war a little bit. People who are defending Caitlin Clark's side are being called racist, and people that are on the other side are calling those people haters, and I just don't like to see what it's turned into, and it's just kind of the way society's going nowadays, which is really sad, and I don't want to get too far off into that tangent. But I have a quote here from Reese, and maybe that'll kind of help explain what my opinion is. And she said this earlier in the year, right? Not after the game itself, but she says, quote, "I don't fit the narrative. I don't fit the box that you all want to put me in. I'm too hood. I'm too ghetto. Y'all told me that all year. When other people do it, y'all don't say nothing. This is for the people that look like me." And so to me, that's where I think it's not Caitlin Clark. It's the idea of Caitlin Clark. And she just wanted to let it be known that, she overcame this despite what people said about her, and the people talking bad about her and her team and her coach. And, she wanted Caitlin to know, but it was the idea of Caitlin and the people who support her. But on the other hand, don't support Reese and her team. And so I think she really took it personally. And so she was determined at that time. She goes, "I'm going to make it known that despite what you people say about me and my team, we overcame it and we came out as champions, and I'm going to have this ring to prove it." And I've seen her in later interviews. She hasn't really backed off on her opinion of what she said. And I've kind of followed this. I've kind of followed this since the beginning in the last couple of days, just to see kind of where it's gone. And if you're a supporter of Iowa and Caitlin Clark, these people are posting videos that express their opinions. That what they, how they feel. That's what they post. But I wish sometimes people could just kind of stop and look at it from the other perspective and kind of, see where she's coming from. But they're too upset, and just in the moment, how she reacted in the moment, that's all they're focused on. They don't care about the backstory or where she's coming from or how it got to this point. And that's what I wish people would be more open to, looking at both sides of the issue. But I have come across several things. I did come across a video where they're talking to Angel Reese before the game, and I don't think it's that specific, right before the game itself, but like a day or two before. And she's like, "Well, I'm not I don't get starstruck. I'm not a big, going out and seeing people or getting awed by people. But she goes, I'm excited. Caitlin Clark's a great player, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, but she goes, I'm excited to meet Caitlin. And she goes, hey, Caitlin Clark. Well, then Caitlin Clark comes into the picture, and they shake hands, and and she's kind of excited to meet her, and she introduces herself, and I think Caitlin says, hey, how are you, or something like that. So I think she does have respect for Caitlin Clark as a player and as a person. So there's a little more behind the scenes of what, people want to, just focus on that moment. And, props to Caitlin Clark too. She's gone on ESPN and several other places and done interviews. And, she said all the right things. I think her quote was, this is her quote, I'm sorry. She said, they played tremendous. We are all competitive and show our emotions in a different way. Angel is a tremendous, tremendous player. I have nothing but respect for her. I love her game. I'm a big fan of her and the entire LSU team. They played an amazing game. I don't think there should be any criticism for what she did. I honestly didn't see it when the game was going on. Now, I think some of that's probably tongue-in-cheek. I think she probably did see it as it was going on. But, what else is she really going to say? She's not going to go on national TV and just start berating Angel Reese and her team and what they did. It would just put her in a bad light. Sorry, I bumped the microphone. It would just put her in a bad light. So, she was above board. She took the high road, which she should have done. And hopefully, this thing will blow over. Yeah, was the officiating bad? Yeah, there were several technicals that probably could have been called. Excuse me, on the LSU coach. She bumped into a ref at one point. She was standing on the court, which you're not supposed to do. Would that have been enough to change the outcome of the game? I don't know. Probably not. But yeah, I just think there was more to the story than just Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, and so that's just kind of the point I wanted to get out there. And that's just my opinion. But Clark made you can't see me, the John Cena gesture. She made that to Louisville's Haley Van Lith when in the Elite Eight game.
Yeah.
Well, Angel Reese and Van Lith played on in the USA basketball program together. So these guys might have a friendship, so when she had thought, that she made that gesture towards Lilith, that she was maybe standing up for a friend as well, in the moment. So there's a lot more to it than just meets the eye. And that's all I really wanted to talk about, just kind of where I thought it came from and the genesis of it. Like I said, do I have a problem with it in the long run? No, because like I said, if you're willing to be a trash talker and dish that stuff out, you got to be willing to take it. Did she take it a little bit long? Yeah, probably. But to me, like I said, it was more than just Caitlin Clark. It was just the idea of Caitlin Clark that bothered her. You got a rebuttal?
No, not really. I kind of agree with you.
Okay.
Which doesn't happen a whole lot.
No.
But yeah. Well, especially, yeah, I totally forgot about her doing that to what's-her-face from Louisville. And then even when she did you see the clip with that person's at three-point line and she was like, I don't want to guard you.
Yeah.
Like, the more you think about it, she's good at the trash talk, too. Mm-hmm. And she even said it's good for the sport. It gets more people on it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then you talk about the comments on people. That's the problem when it comes around women's sports, because there's always a connotation that the women, yes, they're not as physically strong as the men or like muscle-wise, but there's always this common conception that, they're just the sport and the way they play is inferior to the men, which I think is generally not true. If you watch it,
it's just a different game. It's played below the rim.
Yes. But, like, if you like basketball, I don't get how you could say, well, this is inferior, because it's literally the same sport. It's just a different style of it. But then, and I hate when people argue, well, you know, the WNBA doesn't make as much money. So, like, obviously I understand why they can't pay them as much as the men, because, you know, that's obvious, that's business. But then when you see people, when they post, ESPN posts a comment about, or just a post in general about the WNBA, you see all the comments, oh, well, no one cares about the women, they should just go in the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. They make stupid comments like that.
Yeah.
So how are they supposed to grow the game and work towards that equal when people aren't even giving it the chance? So there's obviously no easy solution to that situation, but we got to do a better job respecting people playing the game the way they play. And I think if it's not for you, it's not for you. But that doesn't mean you have to degrade and trash people just for no reason.
It really disturbed me to see the N word and like I said, the phrase monkey and just some of the stuff people were saying. And I will also say that none of those comments said, "Hey, Todd Farrell, this is his comment." It's like, "Oh, CCA 962 says." I mean, when you can hide behind a persona and you don't have to be accountable for what you say, it's easy to say that stuff in the moment.
Well, of course.
You know, because you know there's not going to be any repercussions, you know, per se.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might get banned from that site or whatever for, you know, ever or a day or two or whatever. But I mean, really, when you can hide behind a fake persona, you know, it's just game on, and people just, you know, don't care, and they just think they can say whatever they want.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, we got to do a better job respecting our athletes.
Yeah, and I admit, you know, there's been times where I've got, you know, upset and, you know, kind of trashed somebody, but I mean, I don't think I went to that length to, demean
say racist things.
Yeah, racist things and demean their integrity. You know, I just.
Oh, yeah. That's taking it too far. You can have a problem with or kind of, you know, celebrating too much, but yeah, you can't take it to that level. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So I agree with what you said. But I would compare Caitlin Clark more to Steph Curry than Larry Bird.
Okay.
Just because she's a point guard.
Yeah.
And why does she have to play for Iowa out of all teams?
Well, I just mentioned her because they said the matchup was the most anticipated game since the Larry Bird Magic Johnson. You know.
Oh, really? Oh.
But you know whether or not that's true, I don't know. But they, I will say, they did draw 9.9 million viewers for the game, which was on a Sunday afternoon, which was more than the Daytona 500 even. So.
Oh yeah, that's good. It's good for the sport.
Mm-hmm. And she's coming back next year, so.
Well, I think it's a rule. The WNBA, you have to play all 4 years of college before you can get drafted.
Well,
which it is. That's a dumb rule.
I don't follow them. Honestly, I don't follow the WNBA, and I don't know much about the rules. I just know that Caitlin Clark's a junior, so she will be back next year.
WNBA draft eligibility rules.
He's Googling it again, folks.
There are 3 ways for domestic players. How old is this? They're asking if this is like a whole article about if Caitlin Clark's going to get drafted. They have to turn at least 22 years old during the year when the draft takes place, have graduated or be set to graduate from a 4-year university within 3 months of the draft, have attended a 4-year university and had her original class graduate or be set to graduate within 3 months of the draft. Since she turns 22 next year, Clark will be eligible for the 2024 draft. So she got to play another year. Which is kind of dumb. But, I mean, that's the WNBA.
Yeah.
Let's go, I don't have a team. Let's go Chicago Sky. Woo.
Mercury Sun. You know what? I think I'll check, and if we have it, we'll tweet it out on the F Intentions Twitter page. But I think I saved that video of Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese talking about Caitlin Clark before the game and wanting to meet her. So if I can find that, we'll tweet it out on our Twitter page.
Cool. So that's all I have.
Yeah, me too. I just have my nugget section, and we did get a comment, so you have to dig out the comment sounder, which I know you love.
I gotta find that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any nuggets either, so
okay.
We're just gonna let you free reign this.
Well, nice.
You want to do the comment first? Or you want to do the nuggets first?
We'll do the nuggets first. The comments always come towards the end of the.
All right. Well, you can introduce the segment because you're the only one that has the segment. We didn't have an eyebrow raiser either.
All right.
I was so excited about my baseball predictions. And talk about Wrestlemania.
It's kind of apropos for the Nuggets section because they just announced the 4 new astronauts going into space, so that's exciting. So they'll be firing up that rocket booster.
Also, I totally forgot about the tag team match for WrestleMania, by the way. That was also a very good match. Sami Owens and Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens winning the tag titles over the Usos. First night, that was a great match. I don't know how I forgot about that one.
All right. That's your nugget.
Just to bring that out
That's your nugget.
Brock Lesnar beat Omos, too.
Oh, it's your second nugget. Look at you rolling them out. You said you didn't have any.
I just forgot about that. Okay, that was my nugget then. You're good.
All right. Did you see
No.
Adam Wainwright sang the national anthem opening day? And the fun thing was, apparently nobody on the team knew. They were all lined up, waiting for the national anthem, and they announced him. And you could tell, I saw the video, you could tell by his teammates' surprised looks on their faces that nobody had any idea he was going to sing.
No, yeah, because one of them was like, oh.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, and they got a big, on their face, and they started clapping and cheering for him. I will say he started out a little shaky, probably a little nervous, but he got through it, and he actually sang pretty well.
Well, you have to see him on The Masked Singer.
Yeah.
No, because I was showering today, and I go, I feel like I had an eyebrow raise or something I wanted to write down. I never did. And then when you just said that, I go, that's what it was. Adam Wainwright singing the national anthem on opening day, yeah.
Sorry about that image of Nathan showering that you have to endure now.
They don't know what I look like. Actually, yeah, they do, because you posted that photo of me and Booker T.
That's right.
But no, we only have 5 followers, so I'll just delete it real quick.
Oh, that's hurtful. My next one is shout out Jim Nance. He broadcast his final college basketball game, the final, and there's a great video out there of him watching one shining moment with his daughter or his wife there at midcourt, and he's watching the giant scoreboard, and there's just cameras all around him, and it's
one shining moment.
Yes, a lot of people don't like that song, but that was a cool moment. So
the ball is tipped.
Congratulations to him.
There you are.
3 decades he did that. 3 decades of excellence for Jim Nance.
You're running for your life. You're a shooting star.
You're killing me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're killing me, Small.
You're killing me. Well, that was it for my couple nuggets.
Oh, that was it? Oh, cool. Man, that was the quickest nugget section ever.
Well, we kind of.
I didn't even get to open my ranch. My barbecue. Get it? Like nuggets?
Your honey mustard.
My honey mustard. Woo! My secret sauce.
Well, I know we should.
That sounds a little dirty.
I know. I still think we should call these asteroids, since we got the rocket boosters, but that's another time.
Well, we need another sound effect. Remember I did that the one time?
Well, you said, how come we call it nuggets if we're using the rocket booster? And I said, well, that's just something you came up with. And I said, well, should we call them asteroids or something? You're like, no.
That's a dumb name.
Oh,
we should call them like our comments. Yeah. Like comments, but like comets.
All right.
Maybe we'll change it. Well,
got a comment, and we as always appreciate the interaction of our listeners. So it's plus or minus. So,
you got to intro it though, so I can put the sound effect on.
Yeah. So let's get to the comments.
That works. What's your comment?
This one come from listener Emma.
Oh Jesus!
And she put an acronym in here, so you're gonna have to help me with it.
This is my sister.
She says, not a fan of the taste test bit. 2, and she says ASMRY. Do you know what that means?
That's ASMR. You don't know what ASMR is?
No, I don't.
It's like a certain microphone, like where you do things on it, and it gives you like tingly feels.
Oh, okay.
So like you put headphones in, and people are like they're like crumpled paper, and
okay.
It's like it's supposed to be like good like feeling sensations.
Okay. Well, she goes on to say, one of you is chewing too close to the mic.
It was probably me.
And makes a green, sickly face. And yes, they have green tea Kit Kats, and they are delicious.
Shout out to Emma. I know what I was talking about.
So thank you to Emma for reaching out. The taste test segment was just kind of a random thing that came up, and then Nathan said, we can maybe make that a regular segment. And then the Kit Kat thing evolved. But honestly, we weren't really probably thinking about how close we were to the mics when we were drinking or eating. Don't do that. So we apologize, but I will say the taste test segment won't be a regular thing, and it might just end up on the cutting room floor. I don't know.
I'm hungry. I want to eat and chew close to the mic.
It doesn't seem like it has added much to the pod. So
what do you mean? The Kit Kat was good. It wasn't that damn soda. Jesus Christ, no wonder it made me throw up. ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, a term used to describe a tingling, static-like, or goosebump sensation in response to specific triggering audio or visual stimuli.
Oh, so we gave Emma goosebumps?
Kind of, but yeah.
They're
probably not from us.
I think she meant it derogatorily, and that's kind of how he took it with the green pukey face.
There's some attractive-looking women on the internet that do ASMR, and that's a lot more fun to watch than probably my fat ass eating a Kit Kat.
Give me a break. See how I rolled that in there?
There you go. That was finally a segue.
Yeah, nice.
I don't know why my checkbook's right here, but it is. All right.
Write me something out of that son bitch.
I just gave you money.
Of course.
For a baseball trip.
Everything that you write in there is going to come after the decimal point.
I'll give you $1.0000004.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we got the baseball trip. Now I kind of want to go to WrestleMania next year. My friends and I have been talking about going to WrestleMania for years.
Well, there you go.
And then I was like, well, I'm kind of into wrestling again. I should see when WWE events coming. They're going to Lincoln next week for Friday Night SmackDown. I go, what the hell? I thought, I didn't even know that. I could spend $260 in like the third row if I wanted to.
Wow.
I don't know if I want to do that though.
Yeah.
I would kind of like to go though.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the baseball trip. You know, I think we've mentioned it, so yeah, it's exciting. It'll be in June, and
we'll be nice
just
and
you and
cozy
me
together on the bus.
You and me hang out on the bus for several days and get to see each of our teams. And get to go to Cooperstown, and if I could talk Nathan into it, we might do a podcast from Cooperstown.
Yeah, we'll see.
Kind of give you the vibe of the town. I'm excited to be there, and I plan on spending some money.
Oh yeah, we'll spend a lot of money. Hall of Fame has a good gift shop.
Yeah,
that's why I got that. No, not that pennant. My old pennant I got. Because that one has 2018 on it. Because we went in 2017 the first time.
Well, you got anything else? I think we'll just wrap this up, brother.
No, go Red Sox.
Yeah, please follow us on Twitter at FIntentionspod. You can check us out on Spotify, YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and share. Comments. We like comments, good or bad, as you can tell. Hopefully we'll get Emma turned on to the good side of ours. And Sunday's Easter. So if you go out hunting Easter eggs and go to church and your Sunday best and stuff, we wish you all the best there. And nice time with your family. And I hope you find all the hidden eggs that you're able to. And that the Easter Bunny's good to you.
I forgot the Easter. I forgot Easter was this weekend.
Yeah, it seems like it's kind of early this year. It seems like it's usually more middle of April, but yeah, it's excited. I usually have a little ham and.
Well, I'm excited because that means the damn fish is going to be gone from work, so we don't got to deal with that crap anymore. Fridays we've been getting our butts kicked. Everyone's stupid tilapia.
So everybody, starting next Monday, you go to Donna Millie's on 108th and Center and ask for the fish.
Well, there ain't going to be the fish. We get rid of the fish on Saturday. Saturday's last day. We'll get the berry salad back though.
Oh, nice.
My mom's been going crazy.
Berry salad, the berry salad comes back Monday. Margarita.
Yeah, $1.30 margarita. Can't beat it.
There you go.
Someone came in the other day and go, man, margaritas are so good. I'm like, yeah, they're all right.
Yeah. But we don't condone alcohol consumption on this show. So.
Well, at least if you do it responsibly.
Oh, there you go. Very good, Nathan.
Yes, don't drink and drive.
All right.
Just drink and then drive. I'm joking, don't do that.
I'm not affiliated with that last comment.